Welcome to Doublekoradio. What is up? My name is Poe, and I'm here with David.
Yo, yo.
And we took a trip out to Asia,
Nice.
somewhere in Asia, obviously, to
What is Asia?
get our hands on the Asia only demo for Samurai Shodown that was released.
So you're saying it was exclusive?
It was exclusive to that region.
Mm.
What came in the demo was basically the entry level tutorial mode, which was pretty standard. This is how you move. This is how you do moves. This is why you want to do this defensive option, that defensive option, this offensive option, and here are your supers. Like it was pretty standard. You know, nothing too nothing on Eunice level.
Like very detailed, like
Yeah,
very. Uh-huh.
but I don't think it really needs to be for this game
Okay.
as much. Um, and then you essentially either can play versus with AI, or you can play versus with somebody locally. It wasn't an online accessible demo.
Was it? And because I didn't think I got a chance. Can you change the difficulty for the AI?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you could. But that's the thing. I don't think playing AI in this game, which is probably why they did the ghost AI, would be as fun, because it feels like a lot of this game's fun will be playing mind games with like somebody else. Like, remember those
Gotcha.
moments? Like, basically how we chopped this up is like I had tried it out over the weekend. I did the tutorial, and then tried the moves of the characters and played a couple matches with Cutie. And then a couple days later, David was able to pass by my house for another 2 hour demo
Round
from
two.
from a different region in Japan that we traveled to.
Yeah, we all over the world.
um, so like I had him do the tutorial so he could look at the game mechanics, and then we just recorded right after. We just recorded us playing, trying stuff out, getting familiar with the game itself.
Mhm.
And that's what you should be watching right now on the screen.
Which it
Um,
didn't took long, right?
what?
I don't think the tutorial took long. The
No,
tutorial was very simple, right?
yeah, it was a pretty simple tutorial. But then again, this game feels like more. Uh, how do I say, like, up to the
Mine.
player on how they
Uh-huh.
play, kind of
Gotcha.
like.
Yeah, I think I was easier to understand what they wanted me to do already by the tutorial. Like, hey, this is how you do things. This is maybe this is situational and stuff like that. That's it.
Yeah.
And they left it up to you. They just give you a blank canvas. They left it up to you.
And the defensive options in this game feels like if you do them, you have more fun with the game. If you do them successfully, because in the tutorial you're like, you can easily see like, all right, let me press these two buttons and I dodge like a completely dodge an attack, or if
So easy.
yeah yeah easy, yeah, okay.
So easy.
Yeah, and then you could be like, and it's really hype. You're gonna, as soon as you see that you can take somebody's weapon away, you're like, ooh, I want to do that. I want to blast the weapon away, or I want to parry there.
Disarm.
Yeah, I want to disarm them. Yeah. So I don't know. It definitely feels like when it comes to the tutorial, it's not as important for this game. I don't
Huh.
know, but I don't know if, like, how the community is gonna take it. It's probably gonna complain that it's not
No.
in depth.
Nah, they always complain. I think it's healthier enough to give you the pat on the back and go play the game. You get me?
Yeah.
Because once again, like you mentioned, the style of the battle, how it feels. But before we go to the style of the battle, I just feel more that since how this demo is, right? They just was very bare bones. They just want you to have feel the game,
Mm-hmm.
how it is, feel what as raw as possible. So anything else they add, just gonna be beneficial, right?
Yeah.
Because this just is the rawest version that you can ever get. At least that's what I felt when I played the game. And I think, to be honest, one of the first thing I noticed, even without gameplay, was how nice it looked. like the characters look really, really nice. Not nice as an okay NRS game, but it still look pleasing enough for me to be like, this looks good. Like I can look at this and I'll be like, ooh, why does it look so bad? You know?
Yeah.
So I love the style. It looks great. Yeah, people compare it to Street Fighter 4. I don't think so, because that game is ugly. Street Fighter 4 is very ugly.
The characters in this don't feel as deformed as in Street Fighter 4.
Yeah. They're strong as fuck.
They're definitely
strong.
You know, their feet and their hands and stuff are definitely like really
action
huge.
Hero. Very action hero.
And if anybody really like pays attention to the builds of all these guys, like the characters, like in Street Fighter, like they're essentially all bodybuilders. Like they're all heavyweight bodybuilders. You know, like you need to like people don't notice it, but like even Dowsum is like he's a fucking middleweight bodybuilder. He's not skinny. You know, the way they proportion these guys is insane, and I think this does a good job of making these character models not have it be a focus where people go, you know, like, oof, that guy's huge, or like that guy looks weird, or that guy, you know, it's more like, you know, it looks like a standard strongman or a big guy or a regular dude, you know.
True. Do you ever have He-Man action figures?
Yes, of course.
They all were Street Fighter 4 characters.
Yes. But honestly, like these guys are a little more stocky in this game than
I'm not talking about Samurai Shodown. I'm talking about like
no. In Samurai Shodown, like I would say, like He-Man would be like the buffness is in Street Fighter 4, but like the stockiness so far it looks like in this game, because these characters look like not super tall, you know, like
well, they're Asian, right? So
some of them. I mean, fucking this dude is from Texas apparently, Earthquake, and he's like 1 billion feet tall.
Yeah, it makes sense. You know,
and Tam Tam, he's
like an 8 feet tall guy.
Tam Tam, if he were born in this era, he'd be in basketball. You know,
absolutely. In the
he'd
fucking
be a prospect.
Olympics. Be in the Olympics, bro.
He'd be that prospect from like South America.
So we went to battle, right? I think we went to one character each, and then we decided who we want to stick with, right?
Yeah, I wanted to try Yashimaru because I had tried Nakaruru last time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you were Haomaru.
Yeah.
The closest to a Street Fighter character you can get right now.
I had fun with Nakaruru though. I was having combos with her. I was having fun with her. I wanted to try the Yoshimaru dude because he has some interesting things. I was like, let me stick with Aomaru, you know, a couple of slashes and you're dead, you know, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's super heavy. And I think the pace of the game, a lot of people were saying, and I'm glad I got to play it, to be honest. I'm so happy I got to play it because a lot of people were saying, you're so slow, you walk very slow, the movement is not much. And I didn't have any problem with all of that. Everything feels like it flows very well. Can you do, when you press forward on the D-pad, your character moves slow? I guess you could say, but you have dashes, right?
But there's dashes, yeah.
You can run, literally run. You know, run or backdash. And the backdash, I tested out to see if it was like animated backdash, to see if it was invincible or just for looks. And it put me in a good position that I was out of way at a couple of hits. And I was like, oh, this has a purpose, you know? And the dashes, the running thing felt great. Felt like King of Fighters, 97, when you used to do a combo and then run before they get up, and you're already in their face, like, come on, get up.
Yeah. And then you could kind of play around with that, too, because if you know that guy's running to go in your face, you could roll behind him. You know,
I think I did a couple of times, too, right? Like, I would run forward and then backdash twice just in case you would roll forward, but then you roll back, you'll be out of my sight, out of my range. So
yeah, I like the wake up game in this game so far. It feels like anytime somebody gets knocked down, it's
because you're not helpless.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're in the corner, definitely it's different, the situation. But like every other fighting game, if you're in the corner, it's a shitty situation for you, right? But it didn't feel like, damn, that's it, I'm done, you know? Because this game doesn't have recovery. You don't have recovery moves. At least I didn't saw any. So it's only rolling forward, rolling back, or standing up.
Yeah, was there a delay? There wasn't a delay.
No, I tried it. I hold buttons, I hold down. Maybe something they can add, right? That would be another layer they can add.
Yeah, they could add that layer.
Mm-hmm. but even without it, it still felt like what I'm trying to say. The battle felt like it flowed. It never felt like oh, it's so blocky. Like we don't know what we're going at or anything. Even without us knowing much of the game, we knew to the fundamentals that it's like if I hit you with a heavy attack, I'm gonna take a lot of health, but I'm putting myself in a that if you block it, I'm opening myself up to a medium hit. Literally, every hit that you're heavy, most characters can hit you with a medium hit. And I was like, great. Or a special move, too, if they're fast enough. Like, Nakoruru medium hit might reach, but if you do her sliding attack, it hits you. And then the light punch didn't feel cheap. Like, they're fast, but didn't feel cheap. I like the dashing attacks. Feels really good.
Yeah.
Because you dash attack and you have a different version of your attacks.
Especially the heavy ones. The heavy ones are the ones that are more unique.
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, didn't feel broken either. It just felt like I had another tool instead of just doing a super move.
Yeah.
Like I felt I had tools, dude. I'm not even lying. I feel like I had tools.
And the thing is too is like most of these tools you're feeling are universal, so it's gonna be a while before you really, I think before really get an accurate grasp on like what makes a character really good in the game. I think it's gonna fluctuate a little. You know how it's been pretty fast, like my day one tier list, you know, stuff with like that, and people are gonna think, that they're kind of accurate on how the game works. But like, there's all these things like how good a character is maybe when they don't have their weapon versus when they do, or when they're like up close to people and they have all these defensive options, like because like the game feels like it completely changes when you're like up in their face. Like when you're up in each other's face, you gotta like you gotta guess like 6 different things, almost like a mini version of like having to guess with Dragon Ball, but you're both like, but there's not one guy just totally at a disadvantage. It's like it's like on both sides.
Though. It feels very smart though, because even if you spam something, you putting yourself in a disadvantage because now I'm gonna counter that type of thing. Not with a counter, but with whatever move I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
it just feels good, and being over aggressive can be good, but it can also is not overwhelming because you can once again if you hit heavy, you yourself already it's like you lost your turn if you block that. It just feels very good. Once again, I'm saying very good because I like this type of things. I like that everyone has the same equal type of opportunity in terms of a fighting game. Yeah, there's stronger characters than other, absolutely, but still having the same playing, they feel like they're still in the same playing field. It doesn't feel like the other one is catching up all the time to the other one. At least with the characters that we play.
Yeah. I had an idea today on like because the biggest complaint is the walk speed for characters, right?
Yeah,
and the complaint I mean not the complaint, but I think the reasoning for like that they might have had. I'm just speculating, of course. I don't fucking talk to these guys, but I would like to. Hey guys, but like I have a feeling that the walk speed has to do with how strong grabs are, because grabs you can't tech them. When you grab, you just grab. There's no teching a grab, and then. Also, when you do a grab, it could lead into super, it could lead into an Isen, it could lead into just extra damage, depending on the character, and that's pretty strong. So like but you have to really be like right in their face.
Yeah.
But even if you have that grab, if the other player reads it, you got the dodge. That's when you dodge or when you jump.
And I did it multiple times too, and you did it as well. Like. It didn't feel helpless. Like, it is strong. Absolutely, I agree. But it didn't feel helpless because I literally just, reading the attack that I thought you were going to grab me or do like a sweep, and I dodged the grab and I was like, oh, shit, that's awesome. It didn't give me an advantage. It's just was in this disadvantage. We went back to neutral again,
Yeah.
Which was really cool. I enjoy also the moment to moments when you're almost dying and you're getting hit, and as much damage as you do in this game. In this game, you do a lot of damage. That's the concept of this game, right? But even at the moment to moment last health, it felt like I needed to do much more to kill you in that last minute than just do a regular hit and kill you. Like those medium hits would not kill you. I think I told you, I was like, hey, it feels like medium hit are not doing much damage.
Yeah.
Either there's a gut system, I don't know, but
well, I think it's like mainly like. like I think the big hits we see are like the big like counter hit H. You know
So good.
those moves like those definitely are the huge hits, but and those are and you know I guess that's how they balance it out because the other hits are easier to hit, but they do less damage. But the big
Yeah.
hits, the ones that you risk your weapon on, you know, like if you get parried, you know that weapon of yours is gone, and then you're at a disadvantage. So
Yeah.
it's risky, but you know that with that risk comes all that big damage. And people, you know, people are gonna probably like not like that. There's no combos or less combos potential in this game compared to other games, but it's offset by the amount of damage you can do with just one hit.
Yeah. And
Instead
there's
of
combos, yeah.
yeah, but there's combos, but there's also like you know, like you can waste 20 seconds doing like a 15-20 hit combo like in a different game, or just hit somebody once in this game and then you're doing the same amount of damage comparatively. You know, you just got to choose what you just you know what style you prefer in your games.
Yeah, and this with the characters that we play, right? Maybe other characters might reverse that role, and maybe their lights and mediums are the really strong one, and you attack with the heavies, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because they're weaker or something like that. But for me, the reason I think I felt very familiar with this game was not only I played Summer Showdown before, but even to this day, because I played those Summer Showdown, the only thing that helped me is being familiar with the moves. That's it. The gameplay still felt kind of similar but new, right? It still feels new because I remember the other Summer Showdown I didn't play them like this. Even I don't know if you noticed when we play Summer Showdown special, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could tell that I wasn't that familiar doing these things. You can
Yeah.
tell that when I was playing, I wasn't like completely at a loss at that point. Like, hey, how do I? Because that point in that game, they have so many other mechanics, right? There's so many other like the super dash low thing or all these extra stuff.
Yeah.
This one was a little bit more back to his roots, so I felt more at home. And it reminded me a lot of King of Fighters games. In King of Fighter games, yeah, there are combos, but the combos are not super long. At least the older King of Fighters, 96, 97.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt really easy but rewarding and satisfying. Like, you know, you would jump with a heavy kick. You would do either a medium punch to a special move. A special move that knocks you down, a special move that keeps you up so then you can keep the pressure. And that's how I felt when I was playing Omaru because, once again, he's such a standard character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would do like a regular hit to a medium hit and then to his projectile that either bait you to attack and get hit or it gives me like a positive type of thing. And you could have hit me, but then it gives me that whole sense of the fighting. It's like you wasn't expecting not to have a chance to hit me in between those.
Yeah.
And then I would switch it up to an overhead move or to a regular safe move. You know, it felt good. And that's when I was telling you, hey, Yoshimaru has really cool combos too. Like you could do the medium to the lightning poke, something simple, but those two hits feel very smart, very Street Fighter-ish, very like, you know, you do a medium kick to Dragon Punch or medium kick to Tatsu, you know, and that was your gameplay about it. It felt great. I don't know. I enjoy the style of game. Now I am concerned, of course, of how disregarding how accessible it is and everyone jumps and slice you and I'm the king of internet online because I just kill you with 2 hits or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But how much that's going to last, right? Like how much before the audience is going to be like, okay, so what's next? You know?
Yeah.
Where do we take this from? And don't get me wrong, I want this game to succeed, but I'm putting myself in the mindset of the masses and like, where do you break a character from here? Like, and where do you go from this? When the essence of this game is the gameplay itself, you're the player, not the things that you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. It makes sense because it's like, you know, when you take a game back to its roots, you gotta, you know, take into account that means it's not a modern fighting game that probably is more in tune to like knowing what players like, you know, like to do nowadays, which is flashier moves, maybe longer combos, maybe you know, a lot of dirty tactics when it comes to mix ups and stuff
Pocket
like that.
sand.
Yeah, pocket sand. so when it comes to like, you know, trying to basically how the game says, but you know, fight fair and square, I think it'll be more I think it'll be more appreciated to the people that stick with the game on watching the game be played.
Yeah.
Because like even like right now, like movement, it might be a problem right now, but you know that people might get around that after a while. Like I remember seeing one of the first, if not the first, like tournament. I think it was an invitational tournament for 16 players, and the person that won is the Evo champion for SNK game.
What a cheater!
ET.
You see?
He won, but the thing is, I'm watching the gameplay, and this man he was playing Earthquake, but it's like he had his like most rounds, it's almost like he had his controller broken with the up the direction on.
He kept jumping back.
Literally, it's up, just jumping and jumping, and I was like really perplexed on what the tactic was there, other than maybe Earthquake's like, you know, he wanted to abuse Earthquake's big chain, diagonal chain down, but still, it just didn't look like a pro playing when I was watching it, you know. And this is a champion in another game. Of course, it's like it was day negative whatever for this game to come out, but it still felt like a little like, okay, this doesn't look like, you know.
No,
like,
but I get what
smart.
you're saying, because even if you're new to any game, at least if you play a history of a genre, right, like a fighting game or anything, you still want to do certain things like the grabs or the sweeps or the medium to a special move and see how far you get with that, you know, and stuff like that. That's the foundation of a fighting game, right? Like waiting for jumping to a DP, it's like Dragon Punch or something like that. But look, what you saw was like one of the things I most hate.
Yeah.
And it makes me you know, wonder if they're gonna change that. Remember when I mentioned we were testing out what parries and what parries not? We do light punch parries, medium attack parry, heavy parries, but jumping attacks you cannot parry. You can only dodge. You can just defend them, which means that when you press block, you press back, right, where your direction that you're blocking at the moment, close to the moment that you're gonna get hit, you get like a shine that's very visible for you to react to it, and then you press 2 buttons and you counter that. But I think I would like if I could parry jumping attacks. I think that will change between your person that is your average player to your advanced player, right? Because once I'm gonna take a game that I love a lot because of the foundation of the fighting game core, the core foundation of the fighting game is Killer Instinct. Everyone can do everything in that game. And I always use that as a reference because everyone has the same capabilities of doing everything. What I mean by that is high lows, mediums, you know, jumping, anything, all the stuff. Mm-hmm. Dragon Punch.
Yeah.
And if you're a person that knows those tools versus a person that doesn't know those tools, disregarding of the character that you pick, you're still in that play field. So that means if they jump into something predictable, you could be able to counter that because everyone has that option. Yeah. So in this game, if everyone has that option of parrying, disregarding if the other player is playing like a nut, just going crazy, then you can do that while jumping. Oh, he's jumping all the time. Then I'm gonna parry him, and I'm gonna parry him. You know, and I'll be able to
even
do
if
that.
It doesn't, you know, like relinquish their weapon, maybe because they're coming from the air, it would at least like maybe like almost like push block them or something a little bit from the air, like reset it to neutral, kind of.
Yeah, that stagger, they're like, ugh. Yeah. But even if they're far away, you still that'll be good. Maybe there are other options. Maybe you could jump, you could dash under those things. Maybe you could sweep under those things because your dash attacks move you forward, right? Maybe there's many other things. You could dodge them. I definitely saw the dodge them, but I want to be more rewarding than dodging for a jumping attack because those are very common. Most people just jump and attack you, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe add that layer.
Some air to airs were a little weird. I hope they are like hitbox wise. Sometimes I like when we go in the air both at the same time. Sometimes for me it felt like it was a little weird. I'm like, okay, that didn't hit. That was odd. You know, like maybe you know. But this is us just playing this now, and maybe it just takes a little bit more understanding. But it could also be, you know, something that they could fix for the modern era, which is in their training room, have show the hitboxes and show the frame data too. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
To help people understand as to why, you know, why something isn't hitting. Like, you know, like Nakaruru for some reason flying. Like in some cases, like is she just invincible to grounded moves?
I think so.
Or you know, because like, but you know, at first you're like, why am I swinging at it and my sword's going through her? You know,
literally facing her. Yeah. That for someone that didn't put the work into it might be confused about it. Might think it's cheap.
Yeah.
Or be
you can't hit her.
I want to slice her in half. But yeah, I think one of the best features that I like about
would
the
be your
game.
eyes, David.
Yeah, thank you. One of the best features that I think that I enjoy about the game was that it was easier to adapt, but it's still fun to play. And we don't get that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get that much. Fun factor is huge, and sometimes we can dial it back a couple of notches to be more simple. And by simple, I mean less options to do in terms of like flying or canceling jumps,
air dashing,
or comboing moves with another move. That's what I mean by simplicity,
dash canceling right? Regular moves into anything.
Or focusing attacks, all these things which are great. I feel that sometimes you get lost in those things and they get frustrating, learning stuff. This is a game that if you pick it up and grab it and play it, then you're fine. And it's coming for the Switch. And a couple of years ago, you will not hear me say this, but it's coming for the Switch, so that means more people can just grab this game and play a couple of rounds online, not online, like with their friends or traveling in the planes and have fun, because it's easy. You don't have to worry about much stuff. Just do what you got to do, and it's fun. That's one of the features that I like. One of the features I didn't like much was, maybe because of my lack of understanding of it, was that they have a regular super move that's called a flipping sword attack, which it makes your opponent's sword
weapon flip
disarm.
Technique.
Yeah, that is. Mm-hmm. And then they have another one, like a super desperation move.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it at any moment, at any time, with no meter.
Yeah, you don't need meter. You don't need rage, but you could do it one time during the match. You got one chance to hit it.
You don't need low health. You don't need any. And it's just it feels very out there, and it hits super hard. But then when we try it in the game, it was literally impossible to connect because and you're probably gonna see in the replay. It's literally impossible. It's basically a move. So when you do a super, the scene stops. It goes very modern game.
You hear you hear a noise, like a doom, like almost like, oh shit, something dangerous is about to happen.
But the game is still moving. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And this specific move is like it's slowing down, but everything is still moving. So everything is still happening like live. And your character does the most weirdest attack that has no range whatsoever and slow as fuck. And you never hit anyone.
Well, I mean,
no, it didn't feel
rewarding. I don't know how. It was like, and the thing is like some smart stuff, right? Like, like you grab into the regular super, right? The weapon flip technique or whatever, right? You could do that, and it's cool that it connects, and we don't understand why the other technique doesn't connect.
I think the other one doesn't, right? Like, to be fair, because it does so much damage. Like, ridiculous. We're talking about 75% of your health with that shit, right?
Yeah.
But
like on big whiffs, that's the problem is on big whiffs. We feel like there were times where we felt like we should have hit it. That's when it was really too. Like, it's just like, oh, big whiff, and then when I'm in the range, and then you do it, and then it's just like ping. Oh, I blocked it.
I missed. Dude,
you missed?
I parry and I didn't. I was like, what happened? Like, I'm surprised I didn't kill myself. Doing that. Like it didn't feel at any point or any moment that it was something that I wanted to even use. Like, I get it. Like, level 3s or very hard hitting supers are hard to connect. But at some point, even if you throw it randomly or something, you're about to hit or connect with that shit. This never felt that. Never. Now, the complete opposite of that is when you do the E-Sen. This is the super move.
It's like, and it's weird because it's like one is very hard to hit, one is very easy to hit. It's just like, wait, what?
And then you're like, well, your meter and your chance to hit harder and your chance for your move to do more different effects. Like Aomura, when he's on power, he does multiple hits with his Dragon Punch.
Yeah.
But I can kill you almost in one hit.
But then that's it. You don't got meter. That's it.
And it happened. And you're like, no, but that's no, bro. That's gonna happen.
When I did that today to DG, because DG, we went to Asia again, somewhere else.
You didn't
he passed by to play with Robber, And he actually enjoyed the game. He's not the type to like this style of game, but he actually enjoyed it
Nice.
because of the mechanics. Like it has more fun than for him that Street Fighter had, and I think it has a lot to do with like the weapon, the stuff with the weapons,
The
basically.
anime.
Yeah, anime stuff. But he I mentioned I did Easton in the first round and I killed him right with the first round, and he was like, I'm fine with that. I don't gotta worry about any supers coming at me the next 2 rounds. But I just thought that was funny because that's like a completely different mindset than you. When anytime you get hit by it,
like, God damn. Because I'm building all this. This is what I'm thinking. I'm having like a great game and this game feels good because if you're having a good game, it's because you either, got lucky, because luck is part of the thing, right? Or you did good reads, right? And you were hitting the right hits.
yeah.
And for that to be taken away,
And then you just delete it. No, it literally does feel like you're robbing somebody.
Yeah.
It literally feels like you're robbing somebody.
And the reason it feels like you're robbing is because how simplistic it is. You press a button to push you away. Completely doesn't matter if you're getting hit. It pushes
That's
the opponent. That's
invincible when you activate it too.
Yeah, pushes the opponent in the other way. Even if you're getting hit, you can do that as a last desperation move to save yourself. And then you press one button, which I think is both kicks. I think kicks and heavy at the same time, whatever. And you do it almost instant, screen to screen, instant death. Almost instant death.
I think it's hard to punish it too if you miss. I think maybe out of all the mechanics, maybe this would be the one thing that might need an adjustment, because you're saying one button because we played on the controller, but it's technically 3 buttons, but nobody's going to use 3 buttons because you have the option to just use one button to activate and then one button to initiate the move. And it almost feels like you have revved up like a 1 minute long turnaround punch, like
it just feels like it's Karma Slash. That's what it feels like. I'm gonna call it Karma Slash. You did all that damage and all that shit comes back to you.
Yeah. So if anything, like maybe in the future they'll think about, I would say, like, if it still continues to be too strong, if people can't figure out like how to abuse it, and maybe we were just being not patient. Maybe we're supposed to just be patient or more patient and not press buttons when we activate.
We are. You're
but
right. It's just slow as the game.
But also, like, maybe if nobody figures out and it still continues to be too strong, I would say maybe they'll adjust a little bit of the damage, or how safe it is afterwards after you miss one. Maybe you could get more easily punished or something like that.
Maybe he twists his ankle if you miss, and then you're slow after that.
Or maybe you do something really embarrassing, like your weapon flies forward.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then that goes back to what I said in that day. I was like, hey, we tried to see if parry can work. Once again, I think it should work, because you can do weapon deflect in this game, but by doing so, you expose completely your guard. You're completely open to get hit really hard. The reward of that is that you put the opponent in the same state. Now they're staggered with their weapon out, and then you can hit them really hard. If you can counter that, that was counterable with the the Isen counter with the regular parry, I think it would be more rewarding for the risk.
Yeah.
Because the risk is death. And there's nothing else more rewarding than life when death is the only option. And it's not unblockable. I'm not trying to say it's cheap. And no mean you never heard me it's cheap. I just think it's very strong, right?
Yeah.
And fuck it, let it be strong. People are gonna enjoy that shit. They have fatal blows in Mortal Kombat. They do a lot of damage in just 2 buttons,
Mm-hmm.
And
the way this is cool is, like, you do it once, essentially. It's not like you do it every end. Like with Grand Blue, you basically could do a super at the end of every round. With Mortal Kombat, you basically do, fatal blow. Like, that one's only once too, right?
Yeah, once, that's it.
Yeah, but, still at the end of the round. This, you can just do it whenever the fuck you want.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, I'm more used to that not being that fast either. That used to be like, wee, and then you block it. Or if you're up close, you can get hit by it, whatever. But fuck it, it's a new game. It's a new game.
Maybe it should be, I don't know how easy it is for, Because even like, let's say if you throw out a light to bait it, maybe they could slow it down so that it doesn't like still, you can't, still can punish a light, after you
I
throw
just
it.
think it should be so cool. Think about this. If you time it with a medium slash, that is the forward. You know when old samurai people used to clash?
Yeah.
And then one person dies?
Yeah.
Once again, you're putting yourself in a risk position because you're swinging. If you're swinging at the very last moment before getting hit, you kill them. Bro, that would be so cool.
Dude, that would be insane if that happens, right? I think it should be like a parry. Like you parry.
Yeah, parry.
Like if you parry it and you do like you either do
a weapon flip.
You either like if it happens and you parry, I think you should do the button. I would like it to be the buttons. Like it goes into the
clash.
The clash where you press a lot of buttons. Or, if it's the last round and you're both at like maybe 30% health, if that happens and the other guy parries it, that's when that shit happens. It gets like the whole screen goes black, like you're just silhouettes and one of the characters falls down. That would be sick.
Like they don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So good. And then Tom Cruise comes out last time.
Or it could be both. It could be both. Check this out. All right, last round. 30% health for on both ends or whatever. He does the Isen. They clash, but when it clashes, it does that noise where like the time stops, and they turn into black silhouettes. But then the buttons happen. But the buttons happen is basically like while the time is stopped, they're pressing the buttons, but they don't tell you who's pressing more buttons than the other one. Yeah, who's winning? Then at the end of it, you see who wins by one of the characters falling.
No one would know. Disregarding if the audience or nothing, only they know on the next episode.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. But Dragon Ball used to spoil shit anyway. It'd be like on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Homaru dies. Oh, okay. Cool, now dude. I know.
Dude, that would be cool.
That would be sick. My ideas are too sick, bro. I don't.
That would be so cool, bro.
We're too ambitious for the developers.
We would have been through the window again.
Yeah, again.
But at least to recap, I think it was really fun. I like the mechanics. If I want to compare to, I'm gonna be as bold as I am right now. If I want to compare to the Grand Blue demo and this one, I had a little bit more fun with this one because it was moment-to-moment action all the time. When I was playing with you.
I like that it felt like my life was on the line.
All the time.
Like it feels like, I don't know why. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, why did I choose this to be the game I decide to want to go to tournaments for when it comes out? Because this feels like it was going to be stressful.
Yeah.
Like the more you learn this game, it feels like the more stressful it's going to be.
But rewarding.
Oh, yeah, of course, when the shit works.
Yeah. That's why I enjoy it a little bit more, if I would say so.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, I'm fucking hyped for Grand Blue.
Yeah.
I just think that and I think more because I also play with you, and we know each other how we play already, so it was such a figuring it out.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. Figure it out side by side moment, everything, like what he's gonna do, he's gonna know this, gonna grab. It just felt so good, man. So fun.
Yeah, even with DG today, it was fun too. Like it was,
nice.
It was really fun. Like, because you just can't. It just feels like a beer game. Like you need a beer with your boys. You invite everybody over, and then like you talk so much shit. This feels like something. I don't know. It just feels. I haven't had a game that feels like that. Like feels like it should be something you play locally most of the time.
Yeah. I hear you.
Like, I don't know.
I can't wait to play more characters. I want to play more characters.
Yeah, I want to play characters I want to play with. Is there anything about anything you want to talk about that was a little weird? Because I have things about like when that session I had with you when I was playing Yashimaru, I have a little concerns about the character. So
go ahead.
I'll give you an example of what I mean so that you understand where I'm coming from. So his DP, the thing where he flips up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how sometimes it almost felt like it was a coin flip where if depending on where I did it, I would keep going.
Yeah.
And I would miss the last hit and get punished by you.
Yeah.
But
I
sometimes,
figured that out. Mm-hmm.
oh, you figured it out. But sometimes, let
I
me just
figured it.
explain it at least.
Right.
But sometimes I would do it, and the last hit turns around and autocorrects to you.
And be like, psych. Boom.
Yeah, and it happened like really inconsistently to me. But if you know what happened, let me know.
So what ends up happening, because I play with him and I end up figuring it out, but with Aomaru happens a little bit less. So because it's DP motion, it's an overhead hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because an overhead hit that has a specific placement, like a distant, light, medium, heavy, different travel, it goes based on where your character is. So if you do up close, you have to do the light one, because if you do the medium one, because you're still in that hurt box, it's still gonna hit you, but the placement is already somewhere else. That's why you're gonna whiff and you're gonna end up in the other side hitting where I'm not there.
Okay.
The heavy one, because it travels all the way to whatever side it is, I'm not near you. But if I get close to you, now I'm in your zone that you're supposed to be spinning. So that's why your character turn around.
Okay.
Yeah, when I did it with overhead heaven slash whatever thing he does, light was like, every time I did medium, it hits you twice and I end up behind you and I'm like, fuck, what the fuck is this? But when I used to do the heavy one, I would fly the other side. And light will always connect consistently when I was up close, because it literally falls into that hit placement. It has like a placement, yeah. And your character specific is because he flips in the air and then goes where he needs to place.
Okay.
So, which it was weird, I get it, but it was because I was like, no, you have to do the light. You cannot combo that into the medium. Like I was doing Dragon Punch with Omaru with Light Punch up close, and that wouldn't combo. The medium one combos when you do a hit, because that one moves slightly, has more hit range and stuff like the hitbox placement. Yeah, it's interesting. And that would be another thing to learn, right? You have to learn those things.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the fucking delay that he had when he throws a dagger in the floor.
Oh, that. Yeah, I think they gotta adjust that too, because it was all so unsafe.
It's super unsafe. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's so unsafe. Even it felt like you should not throw that ever.
It really did. It felt like I was trying to explain to DG, like he has all these like moves too, like he could like slash diagonal down from the air, which is cool, but like the ones that go like horizontally, I mean, in the air or something like that, those feel like super situational, like
super hard read,
like almost like a bad Smash character that isn't balanced well, like almost like, you know what I mean though, because like in Smash you use like a set of moves a billion times, and then there's the half of their moves list you use like very situationally, yeah, like depending on the character, and it just almost felt like Yashimaru's kind of in that realm right now. You know, maybe I'm not applying most of his moves, like, but it's basically playing. But I think it's honestly it's playing and knowing when I can do it. One thing I wanted to ask you too is there's a big stink about how many frames of delay of input lag this had
online
for this demo, and somebody saw that it was 8 frames of input delay. But the thing is, like, they already responded to it and said that as I'm writing this tweet, basically they're like on it already, you know, like they're trying to figure it out, which that's the demo, which is good. Well, there's two things that are good about that. There's communication from the developer directly right away, and there's like that puts the fans at ease. And the other thing is, like, this is way faster than Street Fighter, because Street Fighter had this input problem for almost 2 years till they like fixed it. And
that's insane.
And Tekken Tekken had it too.
But it got fixed, yeah.
But it also got fixed, and it took a lot less than Street Fighter, but it still like took them a couple months. But 2 years. But it's still hopeful that they're already they want to make sure that this game has is to what the fans, just to have no bad press. Basically, it feels like they don't want any bad press on the game. And the thing is,
they really have a heart in the game, the heart's in the game.
And I think for this kind of game, it feels kind of important, more so because this feels like you want to make good reads, but if you do feel like there's hard for you to punish certain things. It just feels like you're more like guessing, and you don't want it to feel like you're guessing, and you want it to feel more like you're actually reading your opponent. So I think that's like, if anybody really, doesn't understand why that's important, that's why you want to feel like, if you don't have a disadvantage on your inputs not coming out as fast as you thought them in your brain to come out.
Also the netcode, right? Like, I know they say that, but also the netcode in the lobbies is also something concerning, which I hope they do like a open beta about that,
Mm-hmm. That would be really smart for them to do, even if it's shitty. The nigga go, thanks for the feedback.
We're going back to the better board.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to fix this.
But it's concerning because they are very set on the release date, though. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
They're very set on that release date. Pushing an agenda. Oof, I'm just being hopeful,
Yeah.
Being very hopeful. Very, very hopeful. But I want to see more. Let's see what more comes out for that.
I got nothing else on this, honest, other than, I definitely enjoyed playing the game. I definitely am excited to play the characters I want to play in the game, see how they feel. And I can't wait to see how the game progresses.
Mm-hmm. Or if they add like stuff to it, skins and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like, a good healthy amount of, consistent DLC would be nice. I think the first character might be coming out like in August. Like for DLC.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it should be all right. And that's right after Evo, basically.
Oh, Evo announcement.
Evo announcement, yeah.
Yes. I'm excited.
Which is good timing. All right, guys. Thank you for listening in. If you guys got to play the beta, let us know how you felt about the beta. If you guys want to talk about Sam's show at all or anything, just leave a comment down. We'll respond. We'll respond to everybody's comments. Thank you very much for listening. If you know anybody that likes Sam's show and Sam's show stuff, share our video to them.
They want to know.
Yeah. Huh? Or they want to know?
Or they want to know about Sam's show.
Yeah, any if they're interested in the game at all or in fighting games, share our stuff. Help us out. Help us get us out there. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening in. I was Poe, and this was David.
DKO. I didn't know.
Motherfucker, just say bye. You always say bye after me. You always get the last word. I get the first, you get the last.
I thought I was gonna sing.
I'm still waiting for you to get the last word.
Bye.
All right, guys. Enjoy your day. Peace.